Hey, welcome back to the Fanboy Cantina. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, thank you for being here. It's been a while, Mr. C. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And I'll tell you what, I'm doing better than I was 10 seconds ago because the backstage, like there was just this word across my image which said remove. And so I was just a little bit, I don't want to remove. I'm not here to remove. I'm here to come into the cantina and speak on She-Hulk. So now that it doesn't say remove, let's get to speaking. But before we jump into our main business, sir, how are you doing?
Okay. I'm all right. Thank you for asking. It's been a long time. It's been what weeks since my birthday, the unexpected birthday episode.
So hey, now we're on the other side of summer.
That's right. That's right. Just a little bit of summer left to go, but we're starting it off with a bang with the end of summer with a bang with another series, which is She-Hulk. Although in this episode, so we're going to talk about She-Hulk, episode 1 and 2. And then there's a couple of other things. I went to part of the reason why it's been a while is because I've been traveling. I was in LA last weekend. And so I wanted to talk about Frankensons just for a little bit. And Mr. C, you have a bit of show and tell for us as well with Monsterologist.
We got a nice triple feature tonight. We'll start with a monster of sorts, and we'll get monsterized in all kinds of different ways tonight.
Yeah, we're all monsters all the time in this one. So let's go from Tri-Star G. Tri-Star G also says, hoping to have you guys in green like Blue Man Group in honor of the Hulk and She-Hulk. Oh yeah, that ain't happening. Yeah, the cosplay maybe next time. Mr. C, again, you shame me by having the Fanboy Cantina shirt, to which I think I've worn it one time ever in this thing. I am wearing actually a Metro shirt. Did you see Lollapalooza on Hulu? I think it was on Hulu.
No, I didn't even realize it was on Hulu.
Yeah, so they had the live stream going on. I didn't know about it until like towards the very end. Green Day, the band Green Day was on, and the front man had the so I'm exposing how little I know about Green Day, but dude was wearing the Metro shirt, so I had to get one for myself.
Hey, given that Chicago Cabaret Metro used to be known as Cabaret Metro.
That's right.
Then they kind of dropped the cabaret bit. Is such an important local institution. There is no shame in your shirt game tonight, sir.
Well, it is a little bit shameful in that. So they do have the Cabaret Metro design shirt. That's pretty cool. But I am in Northern California where Green Day is from, and so yeah, it'll come to me. I'm gonna blame it on age or something. Yeah. So yeah, I said, oh, Green Day. Yeah, I might have to smash because I can't. I am having a blank at the moment. So let's get to our first topic, which
Let's
is
do it.
She-Hulk. So She-Hulk just debuted. We're on the second episode of the series. Tatiana Maslany in as the main character of She-Hulk, and it is obviously only on Disney Plus. Mr. C, here's the comment. It's an absolute must-see from the wrap in this promotional piece. I gotta figure out the direction, right?
Right.
But ever so quickly here, what are your feelings? How do you feel about the program She-Hulk?
I'm trying to do it not like cutting a World Wrestling Federation or World Wrestling Entertainment promo. Well, there was a lot of concern coming into the show about which way things were going to go in the show. So there were some legit comments of, oh, is this going to come together, or are they going so far afield from what was the core of phase 1 and all that? So I didn't know what to expect exactly. Sometimes you go in and you lower your expectation bar so you won't be disappointed. I had no idea where to set my bar of expectation. However, come episode 1, the thing that stood out to me the most was just the story and the right. So the transitions from for now, I'll just say in general terms, from point 1 to point 2 to point 3 to point 4, it was all just fast paced, but not for me, not too fast. I could see other people said it would have been better if some of those stops along the way were more flushed out. But I was just like, how did they achieve all that at that pace and keep me locked in? So that was my initial read. It was enjoyable. I should include that. It was enjoyable. The pacing, the writing were part of the elements that made it enjoyable. What's your initial go around on it?
Yeah, Hulk smashed
Smash
the
that left
like
button.
button. I like that.
Smash away.
And a question: if you are watching live, and if you could post in the comments, am I screaming right now? Am I screaming? We're trying this again. When we did the live stream with J Spy, I feel real bad because I kind of screwed up the audio because the gain on the Blue Yeti microphone that I have off to the side was turned way up, and so that it's just I was just like screaming in the video. So if you could post if I'm screaming, that'd be great. As for the series, Mr. C, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving the series, but I am. I am. I am. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yes. No, I mean the audio quality right now. I'm enjoying the series. Yeah. I knew nothing about She-Hulk really. I have in the Marvel Universe series, the small 3 3/4 inch action figure. I have a She-Hulk action figure, and I do have the Marvel Legends figure, but that it's just toys. That's my total exposure to the character. When I've seen the character in comic book form or on covers, it just seems to me it seemed just like a gratuitous a character that was because she's in skin tight stuff, and I knew nothing about the character. And so seeing the character now on Disney Plus, I'm enjoying it. I like the take. I like the approach that they've got within the MCU of testing different types of genres. We've talked about this many times before with the Ant-Man series, or the Ant-Man movies are a heist film kind of thing. With Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, that was the horror theme, and now we've got the sitcom. Really, it truly feels like a sitcom,
legal procedural, yet action adventure. So all the little genre or subgenre cohesion pieces are again a different territory that wasn't exactly covered before.
Yeah, and to that point, I like this. I like this genre. I like series that are based on that legal drama kind of bit. I enjoy it quite a bit. I was thinking about The Practice. I don't know if you remember this series. I had to write it down. It was Dylan McDermott, Cameron Manheim. I used to love that series, and I did enjoy Legally Blonde, which, as I understand it, was one of the influences for the She-Hulk show, along with Ally McBeal. That Ally McBeal note is probably more heavy in this series than anything else. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It is rushed, though. I am feeling, but we've got more time with these characters. It is a 9-episode arc, as opposed to the last couple of series where I think it's just been 6 episodes. So they're fast paced. They're moving a little bit quickly for me, but because we got a little bit more time, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Sounds about right on the count on the number of episodes. If I can pop the comment there, since you just threw in the Ally McBeal and Legally Blonde. Here comes Jim Campbell. Marvel is going everywhere in every direction, 360 all around. So and I'm along for the tilt-a-whirl ride of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like. Honestly, I only saw the first season of Ally McBeal when it was a phenomenon, but I did enjoy it. And we got anyone remember LA? Well, you know this, Mr. C. I love that show. That was an inspirational series for me. I wanted to be Jimmy Smits. I wanted to become a lawyer. And then I worked at a law office, and then I realized, no, I don't.
Well, some of us that's our strong suit, and others of us have other callings. I'm gonna say that the practice it feels like a really long time ago, but LA Law was in that 9 p.m. NBC prime time when NBC was at the height of its powers, and in a, I don't want to say a pre-cable world, but in a pre-streaming world, and where maybe more residences did not have all the technology available today, and maybe fewer residences also had cable TV. So you're in the Wayback Machine when things were way back and different. But yeah, but the point being that it had an impression on you from long ago. And now, as we're getting caught up to the current stuff, so typical Marvel is plucking a little influence from here and plucking a little influence from there and weaving things together. And here we go.
And here we go indeed. And Jim Campbell writes, will we see a Marvel Western? And what would that be? Could it be the original Ghost Rider as a Western? That's an interesting take.
So in the pre-MCU, Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, if I'm remembering correctly, well, because I haven't seen the second one, so I have to be remembering the first one. There was Hamilton Slade or Carter Slade, who was originally the Ghost Rider, and then they changed the character's name to Knight Rider after the Johnny Blaze character Ghost Rider was created. So if there was a little segment of the movie where they were riding along together, but as Marvel continues through their roster, I would hope we would get to see some reference to those Western influences.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Or you could take Western the Western themes and apply it within the MCU, right? We've got Seven Samurai and Magnificent Seven playing out in The Mandalorian in season 1, or for that matter, you've got Yojimbo and what's the Clint Eastwood equivalent? I can picture it, but Yojimbo, which was done as an Italian Western, which is essentially aspects of The Mandalorian, or no, excuse me, Lone Wolf and Cub is The Mandalorian. All right, so I think you can. I think there's certain Western type of aspects that you can apply to the MCU, and that would be really interesting. But also to be in the Western theme or genre, that would be cool.
I'm all for it.
So, okay. So catching up to the comments. Yes, the backstory of the fanboys. Yes. Okay. All right. So now let's get to this. Because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about, which is a pain point for me. Not a pain point. It's not that big a deal, but it is an issue that I have with the series. It does take me out a bit in the flow. I can I can deal with some of the rough points that can happen in a show. And everything doesn't have to be perfect. But when it comes to, say, Moon Knight, I felt, generally speaking, the visual effects were really strong. It was comparable to being in the theater. And Ms. Marvel had some glitches, but overall I thought it was really strong. This one is taking me out of the show. But what are your thoughts of the visual effects?
So we see what we aim at. If I'm going to aim at, or if I'm going to soak it in, okay, it's not so completely realistic. I forget whose channel I was watching as they were commenting on She-Hulk, and growing up with stop motion and claymation and dynamation, I mean, the Pegasus, I knew there was a real horse for a minute, but it was not a real horse in the sky with real wings.
Sure.
The Kraken, let loose the Kraken, release the Kraken. I didn't think so for someone who's going to have the position that is a distraction for them, I get it. I wasn't like, oh, this CGI is the top CGI of all CGI, but I just, there it was, and there it went, and it didn't detract from my overall enjoyment of the product.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Well, with the Clash of the Titans reference, yeah. I mean, at the time, in what is that, late 70s, early 80s, that was the stop motion animation was top notch. That was what we had. And so that looked really compelling. But now with the passage of time, yeah, it's a little bit rough. Here, it is 2022 and 2022. And it, you have an expectation of what you know what they're capable of. You know what the Marvel Studios machine is capable of. So I felt in episode one, where we see the origin story with She-Hulk, and we can see the interaction between the two characters. I'll also say that Hulk, the Mark Ruffalo character, has not been one of my favorites because I've had a bit of an issue with the CGI for Hulk anyway. So, but it was okay, I think, in the first episode. In the second episode, it was like they had taken all the budget and pushed it to the first. It was that much more rough. I felt in the second episode. Catching up with some of the comments. Yeah, I agree with Junkyard. Yeah, two CGI characters interacting. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. And with the CGI character, yeah, kind of the Shrek vibe. Yeah, I mean, okay, yes, I can understand. I can understand that. Oh, and just to catch up, Mr. C has too much Marvel knowledge in that brain. Yes, I agree.
Well, even if I hadn't had that knowledge, then when Jim Campbell comes asking me questions, then I got to do research. So then he himself causes a loop here because
Mhm.
then I seek out more knowledge.
Mhm.
How do you like them apples?
I do like it. Another criticism that I have in the visual effects vein, we had seen, in the first episode, I thought they did a great job. They did a great job of building up the story. I believe that they were on this island. Roughly, I believe that they were on this island. It was compelling enough seeing the interaction and seeing the origin story for She-Hulk. It was good enough for me. I felt bad for the bar that was torn apart. Yeah, it was good. And then and then she comes back to normal times, or catches up to the beginning of the episode, and then they put Jamila Jamil, Titania, on this wire contraption or something, doing the Street Fighter kick across the courtroom, and I thought, what the heck is this? So I feel like it's pretty rough in visual effects broadly here. It's still, yeah, looking at the core story, it's okay. It's good, but there's something about the visual effects that's a little rough for me, taking me out a bit.
There was perhaps a similarity in the Hulk constructed bar
Mhm.
to the Fanboy Cantina Summer Studio, which we're not coming from tonight.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta say, yeah, that was a little bit of a stinger to watch such a having done my own assembly, somewhat comparable to the assembly that we saw on the screen.
Mhm.
Tugged on the heartstrings a little bit to watch it get torn apart, and then also at one point there was not, it didn't even pan, it was very subtle. Bruce was maybe in his Green Hulk form rattling his fingers or some such over the bar, and you saw the initials BB and then the initials TS. For
Mhm.
the He and Tony carved their initials, Tony Stark carved their initials in the bar after they completed it. So again, in current MCU, the character of Iron Man, Tony Stark, has passed on, sacrificed himself to save the universe. So that had to tug on old Brucey's heartstrings there a little bit too.
That was a really nice touch. It was it was a good invocation, a good way to reference Tony Stark in the series. You don't get to see that much of the relationship between Bruce Banner and Tony Stark in the films, and in fact, the most memorable moment for me is where they're working together to create Ultron, but there's a divisiveness there between them. So the notion that they were able to forge a friendship and do this, build this lab together. That's a nice thing, and we know a little bit more about Tony Stark in that way.
I had speculated as I watched that, it seems like maybe they're leaving a plot device here by which you could do a flashback and have Robert Downey Jr. come in a flashback format, and Ruffalo and Downey Jr. would be perhaps in the future on screen together, whereas that piece of the story was set in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. I'm not calling a prediction. I'm just saying it seemed like they wanted to create the possibility.
Yeah. One comments from Jim Campbell: Is Smart Hulk smaller than Rage Hulk? Yes.
Depending on the creative team. So in comics, depending on the creative team,
mm-hmm.
and then in the MCU, I'll say yes, because I think that was, I don't know for a fact, but I'll say that was a thing where as the Hulk's rage fed, he then was like an adrenaline swelling. I guess you could make the general comparison to Bane, the Batman villain on the other side of the coin. So yeah, Bane definitely got more swole off his venom. So in the same way, Hulk got more swole or larger as a result of his raging adrenaline bursts.
So because usually when we do this, Mr. C, I upload all these pictures and I never use them as we're talking. So I think the performances, generally speaking, are good. They all fit within that genre, right? The sitcom type of genre. We're not really. I mean, with Jamil, we know nothing about her really, other than maybe a minute of screen time or seconds of screen time in episode 1, and just a reference in the second episode. But I think the characters are excuse me, the actors that we have here are really well chosen, and Tatiana Maslany, it seems perfect in this role. I haven't seen Orphan Black, where I believe she won an Emmy, but she seems perfectly suited for this.
Yeah, at 23 minutes into our show, let's take a minute to acknowledge the actual acting of the television show which we're reviewing.
Yeah.
So, and in the order that you mentioned, so Jamila Jamil, and maybe her 1 or 1.5 lines of dialogue she had from episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, she has a British accent, and it sounded in that brief speaking line that she had maybe more of a California accent. So that's an interesting juxtaposition. So within the current production, that's all we know. And Titania is a comic book rival of She-Hulk. So
mm-hmm.
what we know is limited. Having seen the NBC sitcom of The Good Place was a previous job that Jamila Jamil had landed. So I'm somewhat familiar with her from that. But now on to Tatiana Maslany, who was in the Orphan Black series, which I did watch with the wife. And that was a very, very different tone. Mm-hmm. But she played a character, from what I can remember, who had a strong resemblance to other characters. So she was, again, from episode to episode, shifting accents or shifting identities. And so in that way, it's a very different variation on the trick, because now there's the CGI involved and it's still her voice, but there's a character shift, but she either looks like herself or she looks like the Green She-Hulk. Highly skilled and well selected, well chosen, and now she's delivering.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we should also make sure to mention another character, another actor. I mean, obviously there was obviously Tim Roth coming back again as Emil Oblonsky. How great is that to see him back again?
It's really great, and villains are going to villain. abominations are going to abominate, and Tim Roth is going to Roth. And again, the setup and then to the end of, was it the end of episode? It had to be the end of episode 2, when the head of the law firm says to her, "Put on the TV." And so I guess we'll just jump over some stuff and come back to some stuff later, maybe. So, but he's they just pumped me up full of stuff. It wasn't me. I wouldn't control myself. The U.S. government hired me to be a hero. But there he is in Fight Club trying to knock Wong to pieces.
Yeah.
So, but again, with that MCU weaving things together, wait, this is something we just saw recently: Abomination and Wong in combat in the Fight Club, and now here we are revisiting that material. So again, the chess master Feige has all the right pieces set in motion.
I'm very curious how they're going to handle this. I assume it's going to be explained in the next episode, so I don't have to speculate that much on it. But Wong does appear later on in the series. He's shown up in the trailer, so we know he's going to be there in some fashion, and that will eventually explain all of this. I am glad that they're bringing that tie to it was called the Incredible Hulk, right? The Edward Norton one, and there are a couple of jokes, including the reference that he's a whole new person. That Bruce Banner is a whole new person, literally, whole different person, literally. That was cool.
And again, that time of the Norton Hulk film set up the blood contagion, or how someone might become secondhand gamma irradiated through exposure to the Hulk's blood. That was the Stan Lee cameo so far back in that early / pre MCU production. And so it fits it fit well to have the Bruce Banner cuts in the car accident gel then with the Jennifer Walters cuts in the car accident, instead of setting up the whole contrivance of them being in some kind of accident and setting up for a blood transfusion. So honoring that piece of comic history with some tweaks and making it more contemporary. And so I thought that was, again, part of the episode 1, that excellent flow of how they went from point A to point B to point C.
Yeah, I did it. So when I watched it the first episode the first time, when the blood comes in contact, okay, so everybody, it's all spoilers all the time here right now. So, but yeah, for this whole thing, but when the blood comes into contact with her, I thought, well, that's convenient. That's odd. But then it was because I hadn't remembered the events that happened in the Incredible Hulk. So the stage was set there, and they did it, I think, in a tight and efficient way for explaining how she becomes who she is. I thought they also did a good job of also explaining, her powers and why she's able to adapt so quickly to them. That she's and she attributes it to being a woman, and that she's has to control her anger all the time, and the ugly reality of being a woman in America or in the world today. So I thought they've done a really great job, despite the short amount of time, like 30 minutes an episode, in making the character compelling, believable, and enjoyable. Oh, there's one more character to mention, which is Cousin Larry. How wonderful is it to see Mark Linn-Baker again?
Pretty cool. Again, that wasn't a show I watched back in the time, or I would come across it occasionally. I wasn't a regular viewer of it, but I thought as he aged, there were similarities in his aging process to that of Henry Winkler. And
it's true. They both got the kind of the wild hair going on. And
yeah. So, but hey, glad to see him come around. And again, as was the case with Ms. Marvel, in multiple different environments, with school staff, with her friends, with the family. Kamala Khan was grounded in each of those different sections of her life.
Mhm.
So now we're using those same structures for Jennifer Walters. Uh, Let me just jump back real quick.
Oh, yeah.
In the early piece of it, they're saying, let's see the savage Jen Walters face. So in contemporary pop culture talk, slang talk, people say, oh, that's savage, that's savage. That what a savage look right there. So, but the original title of the original comic, Savage She Hulk. So I
Okay.
thought that was again really clever. They just slide that in there and they keep going. They didn't break stride in script and plot. So a lot of good stuff was going on.
I should catch up in the comments
Let's
here.
do it.
Let's see. I feel that Marvel can venture into animation again, similar to the quality of the new Ultraman on Netflix for shows like She-Hulk, and done better. And Chester G adds Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse animated type of animation. Yeah, it would be amazing. That movie Into the Spider-Verse was just groundbreaking and
That was some
spectacular.
revolutionary animation.
Yeah. And okay, yeah, no, absolutely. All right, what else should we cover about She-Hulk?
Don't trust Blonsky, for starters.
Uh-huh.
That's just the first thing that popped in my head. Jumping back, I get just her first transformation when she was the only transformation in which she was savage. Running through the forest. Then that did have some shades of Wolfman to it, some shades of Lon Chaney Jr. I liked it, and then how quickly she recovered from that, and then the action comedy of it. Then Bruce puts her in the box in this whatever, similar to the Agents of Shield TV, whatever cells, super powered storage cells, and then, what are you doing, Bruce? You're turning the blades on her, and then he's surprised that she breaks out of the door. So it was maybe some of the banter or relationship between them was a little bit contrived, but again, a lot of it was spot on and really, really clever.
Yeah, how realistic is it that you've got your cousin in a box, and let's see what happens when I turn on the saw blades? Okay, sure, why not? Jim Campbell writes, during the car crash in the first episode, Mark Ruffalo channels his inner Bill Bixby. Yes, that's true, huh? Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Don't really, but scroll back up and Campbell's talking my Marvel knowledge, and now he's tying together Ferrigno and Bixby and the car crash. But that was the whole thing in the opening credits. You got Ted
That's
Cassidy,
right.
known
Wow.
for his Lurch character on the narration. Yes, definitely tributary towards the 70s and Ferrigno and Bixby.
Do you think Lou Ferrigno makes a cameo? Yeah, he did make a cameo in the 2 Hulk movies, right?
Right. So he was a security guard partnered with Stan Lee in the one of them, and I can't peg the other one right now.
Yeah,
There you go, Campbell. There's something I can't recall.
Yeah, I think it would be fabulous to see him. He is still. I know he's doing the Comic-Con circuit, and so yeah, I thought the Running in the Woods, it was like Lou Ferrigno running away after a fight. Yeah.
I was about to, make like with the music. I don't think we'll get a copyright strike if I do it, but we'll just move on anyway. Nobody's here to see me go dun 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 to the original theme of the 70s show.
Who do you think is going to be the big bad of the series? Is it Titania, or is it going to be Monster of the Week every episode and different character? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh man, you always want me to speculate on stuff that I have no idea what I'm going to speculate about. But I'll say Titania is more the mid-level boss or the goon, or the flunky. I think Abomination is the more severe threat. But I mean, let me come at this the long way around. And I don't really know these things, but somewhere I saw that the original rights for which the Hulk character, back before the MCU proper existed,
Okay.
that the Universal Studios still maintain was for a 15-year time period. And I have no idea the accuracy of this, but it appeared that 2023 was the end of that 15-year period where Universal Studios would no longer have the rights to the Hulk. So if that's the case, and which I'm not Kevin Feige, I want to have a plethora of options for the big threat to go against the Hulk. So again, coming back this in a very end around, in a very, I've got strings and pin boards behind me here. Probably you want to save Abomination to go against Hulk in a feature film. So I think we'll just see a piece of Abomination here. We'll see a piece of Titania and She-Hulk in battle. But as far as how much of one and how much of the other, we'll tell you what. So this is episode 1 and episode 2.
Yeah.
As we go through episode 3 and 4, then we'll reevaluate and see how it looks, and then I might have something more to say. How would you answer your own question?
Well,
I'm pointing like you're over here. How would you answer your own question?
One of these days we'll get it right. Who is the big head Hulk villain?
The leader. Oh, but as they switched the whole thing, then was it the Eric Bana or was it the Edward Norton where they had set up for the leader to come into the next movie? That is currently obscured by time in my memory. But if they could make a credible, super smart, and then also physical threat, then that would definitely make for a good and traditional. For Batman, you got to go through the Rogues Gallery. For the X-Men, you have to have Magneto, and for Hulk, you have to have Abomination, and at some point, you have to have the leader. Good call, Jim Campbell.
Good callback on Eric Bana as the actor. I couldn't remember who played him in the first movie, or the first whatever we're going to call that one. I didn't mind the Ang Lee Hulk. It was okay. It was a little slow, but it was okay. That one also had Jennifer Connelly in it, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you've got Liv Tyler and the other.
And the next one. So
the next one, right? So you uploaded a series of pictures about from comics. We've neglected them. What would you like to share with us, Mr. C?
Well, I don't know if I have the steering wheel, so to speak, to do that, G. But as we sometimes on the show, do we want to catch up comments first, and then we'll jump?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I think TriStar G is
TriStar G writes, MCU characters have already been confirmed to appear, including Abomination,
check,
Wong,
check,
and Matt Murdock.
See, so that as we ask who will the villains be, or what will the distribution of the villains be, then how much screen time is Daredevil going to have, and what kind of, will he be more just like on the courtroom side of things, or will he be, trading battle blows with Titania? I think Daredevil probably doesn't want to go against Abomination. That's probably above his pay grade, but let's see how it shakes out. Good pull to the TriStar. So as we, we're not here week to week. Again, we're amateurs. We're hobbyists. We're hobbyist amateurs. We're amateur hobbyists. When we do a certain feature or a certain topic we have is like, what was our first introduction to the character? So sometimes we include that feature.
That's right.
So in the 80s and in the comics, my first introduction to She-Hulk came in a few different comics. So there's the Handbook of the Marvel Universe entry, and we're not going to read all the fine print right there, but She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, the leg warmers are clearly an 80s staple. And if we advance one picture beyond that, so then that was from Marvel Universe.
This was classic.
Handbook of, yes.
And $1 was it was $1, right?
It was $1.
That's a lot of money.
Right. Well,
that was a lot of money.
Are worth the investment.
Yes.
So definitely, that was to pinpoint us. We were in 6th grade. That's so right. Here she is then appearing in an Avengers book. And again, this was some pretty cool stuff here. So here she's holding up in the top panel. The top visible panel, I should say. She's holding up a building from falling over. and then Hawkeye shoots a couple arrows to knock down those lampposts to then turn into support so the building won't fall over. And then what she did, I could use a dozen burgers and a pile of thick shit. So right there, to me, that's pretty funny, right? That was putting some personality, some interesting personality into the character. I appreciated her heroism and her wit, her wisecracking ways. If we advance to the next one, that's around my first issues in which I got to know the She-Hulk character, Avengers 224, 225, 226. If we can. So right, that was just the earlier shot. Sorry, I'm a little out of sequence. That's the earlier shot of her holding up the building, getting the job done. So now this one is in issue 226. I didn't bother to check the name of this guy that Thor is going against, but to me, this was hilarious and innovative and good writing, good action. So as we see in that upper panel there, whoever the villain is, zaps Iron Man, immobilizes him. And so what does she come up with? Well, if Iron Man's immobilized, let me make him relevant in this battle. I'm going to throw Iron Man at our opponent. To me, that, again, a good mix of comedy and adventure and things that got me to appreciate and enjoy the character. So also of the same era, and this was a big deal at the time, so this is a bit further advanced on the clock compared to those Avengers issues, compared to that Handbook of the Marvel Universe issue. So here's Secret Wars, which was the biggest deal of all big deals at the time, issue 1, and then here comes issue 12, the cover. And so She-Hulk was right there. I like to keep it real. We we'll put the real seal on this channel. So there's Dr. Doom at the wrap up of the Secret Wars issue 12. And so again, it was really interesting timing because, okay, there it is. Again, Secret Wars ran for 12 months. In the first month of that, all the heroes got collected up to Battle World or by the character of the Beyonder. So then the month after that, all these changes were revealed to the comic readers across the different titles. Spider-Man comes back in the black suit, certain other changes, and also in the Fantastic Four book, then you can see, oh, She-Hulk flipped from the Avengers to the Fantastic Four. So for my young mind at the time, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't happen. But so then you had until 12 months later to see exactly how it happened. So it was kind of like a planted seed to come backwards, or it was a heads up that here comes a prequel is coming to you, or the backstory will be filled in later. So, and then the Thing kind of stayed on the Beyonder planet, so he would be able to control his transformations from his rocky appearance to his more human traditional appearance. And right there, so right there, there's Reed Richards with what? So that was, again, so we weren't exactly shocked as readers at that time because we had 11 months of She-Hulk at that time already with the Fantastic Four. But that was just for a character that's not on that quote unquote A list, that isn't up there with your Captain America, your Thor, and your Iron Man. She had a lot of great contribution. Her and Hawkeye would get into it all the time. And so then as I'm doing my notes, well, who did Hawkeye get into it with first? Well, Hawkeye, when he was originally a villain, was getting into it with Iron Man in legit battles. And then when Hawkeye converted to being Avenger, who did he argue the most with? Captain America, also arguing with Hank Pym, Giant Man, Ant-Man. And so now here comes She-Hulk, and here's Hawkeye's going to Hawkeye. And she then is filling that role, the same role occupied by Captain America or Giant Man. So she was right there integrated into the Avengers and then well integrated into the Fantastic Four. A great character that I'm well pleased and I'm very much enjoying so far in the 2 episodes to see her brought to this current iteration through Disney Plus.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So my son has wondered, Mr. C, could we get to a World War Hulk scenario out of this series? Bruce Banner does go off into space in the Sicarian ship, destination unknown. We have been reminded about how easy it is to become a Hulk just by getting exposed to Bruce's or now an increasing number of people's blood. So, what are your thoughts? Could we be looking at that kind of thing?
Say again, this guy, your young man, is on that Jim Campbell level of asking these outstanding questions. Now, just say let's send him to the Googles and put in Hulk Universal Contract expiration date, because again,
that's the time.
I have no prior knowledge of anything. Through this very channel, if we were going to tally up my correct predictions and my incorrect predictions, I'm sure my batting average is low. But I have to allow for, if that universal contract is up in the 15-year mark, and if it is in fact the 15-year mark and all that other stuff, then why not set up for a World War Hulk or some of these epic Hulk stories?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know. I can't think that far ahead. Hawkeye is grumpy. Yeah. In the comics.
Yeah, well, you could say not necessarily a Napoleon complex, but you're a guy with a arrows and a quiver, and you're standing next to Steve Rogers. You're maybe going to be a little nervous and use a similar technique to Spider-Man to just jawbone a lot and have a lot to say. Spider-Man's is more innocuous and as a distraction to Goblin and Doc Ock and Kingpin and all the rest, but Hawkeye was not going to, surrender any ground. He was no quarter taken, no quarter given. So grumpy, yes, but also making a significant use of psychological chess.
What was the deal with the spaceship and why did it even show up in the first place? That's not really explained. And then in the second episode, he takes off in the thing, or he's in a room somewhere in the Sicarian. Yeah, we don't know. And that's the prompt, I think, for a Space Hulk adventure or a Planet Hulk adventure, maybe.
That would be great.
And so maybe it was a Secret Wars connection, or no, maybe a Secret Invasion connection. Don't know.
There is some, isn't it? Oh, so many things. Isn't Secret Invasion coming to Disney Plus in 2023? Okay. Yes. Yeah. All right. So then.
Yeah. All right.
Come on. Give them a little no. It's what the people want.
Anyways. All right, so we've covered a lot of She-Hulk, much more. Yeah. All right, okay. So we've talked about She-Hulk far longer than I had expected.
But not longer than I. Not longer than I had expected. But
okay, Mr. C, more on the ball with timing and other things, because we got two other topics for this thing.
Let's go.
So not father. So Frank and Son highlights. So Frank and Son is a place in City of Industry, California. It's a massive, it's like a Costco-sized building, but within it are all of these vendors. So this is a place that I visited a week ago today. We will have a separate video that will push out of just a virtual field trip of Frank and Sons. And so inside this place is a number of, not a number, because it's probably hundreds of vendors in this place. There's like 9 or 10 rows, individual vendors, individual stalls going all the way to the back. And so we will do the longer video some other time, but there was one little bit that I wanted to share here. And so this is actually our first video segment in this thing. So I think we're going to be muted here, Mr. C, but it's a quick one.
I'm ready for it.
So I don't know about you, Mr. C, but that was like deafening in my ears right now. It was very loud. But what did you? With this one, I just want to focus on that one specific bit. This is a vendor called, I didn't capture their website, but Videoshock, and they have just a wonderful selection of horror related type of merch. And among them, so I ended the video with the Medusa Migo figure. We do talk about Migo frequently here on the live stream. uh, $20, so it seems like I don't I honestly don't know what the going rate is, but that seemed like a reasonable price to me. And I have never seen this figure before.
No, it's a new release. It's Wave 15, so that's hardly anybody's seen it before live in a spot. Even at the time, just maybe it was 3 weeks ago for the Flashback Horror Convention, I didn't see the Medusa figures. I saw in that same wave. Boy, so much to say. Let me pace it out. I did see the Hunchback of Notre Dame figure and certain other Wave 15 figures, but absolutely the first time I saw Medusa was when you sent the screenshot of it, and I was trying to dummy up, but I kept blinking. Oh, I can't talk anymore. I'm turned to stone because you put Medusa on the screen. So again, my knowledge of the Hammer horror is less than my knowledge of Universal classical horror, but wow. Oh, you just took her. I was saying, look at that figure. Put her back up there. Look at her cheek. I mean, that's not Jeray Harryhausen Medusa. Boy, it would be great if Miko could get on Clash of the Titans. But what little I do know, there was some production notes of they were going to attempt to incorporate live snakes into a wig, and then they decided against that, and then it had not the ideal look when they were having rubberized or artificial snakes for the character. But right here, maybe the Mego rendition of the character achieved a higher degree of success than the cinematic one. But now that we've spoken on Medusa, so you weren't necessarily seeking out this place, but you were in the spot where it came across your path.
I was struck by this store. So within this massive complex, there's like all kinds of stuff. You've got the Pokemon cards. There's actually a baseball cards section. There's a lot of action figures, a lot of Hot Wheels cars too. This was the only place that I saw, and I had a limited amount of time. I wasn't going to go into every single one of these vendors, but it was the only one that I saw that had a specific focus on the genre and a high amount of attention to Mego. I did see other Mego figures, but this one was really, really wonderful and unique. And yeah, that's a good question. Why is it a 17 and over toy? Is it that delicate? Is there something else we should know?
Campbell, the great deconstructionist, we've had one of a couple of the top Mego people, top Mego, Casual Crafter and J Spy. I don't know if we'll ever reach the level of Dr. Migo or Brick Mantooth being guests on the channel, but Campbell does well to point out that they got some other. If I were to go across the room, which I won't, and pull some older boxes of Migo, they didn't say 17 plus. So there's either some inconsistency, or if not inconsistency, then a change in position. So yeah, that's real interesting how they're saying 17 plus on there. Oh, look, see. So this place, just even their use of different color Post-its, they are so on top of it. You get so Phantom of the Opera. That's something that's not in our inventory, but I know Crafter has that. Bride of Frankenstein, right next to Son of Frankenstein. And here comes the nun. So the interesting feature about the nun is when you spin the head, around, she's got the other face.
Oh wow!
The blue tone there on Young Frankenstein is outstanding. Off to the side, you have the Toonie Terror NECA series there. So for it appears that this place has some overlap with. Oh, and you were commenting on the prices. Oh, and now I got to get to, okay. Let me pace it out. So typically a comic shop or a specialty shop would run Migos at just this $20. And also your Amazons and your eBays would have a $20 price tag on a Migo. Now, most typically at Target or Walmart, the price will be a little bit less. But again, the inventory is also quite often a little bit less. And it's been months and months since I checked up on this. But I know Jim Campbell's out there in the world chasing down Migos from different towns and different places. So certain Walmarts didn't get the Wave 15 release. Some did. If you could run it back up there, that Ultraman. I know Chai Star G is the top Ultraman guy among us, but look at the purple, the yellow. And so I did not expect Ultraman to look that good as he does. Right next to him, I was hoping, for my taste, that the Grim Reaper was. Maybe if I see Grim Reaper live and in person, I'll change my tune. But so I'm less. So my expectations were higher from Grim Reaper. I didn't have expectations for Ultraman. Ultraman exceeded expectations, and Grim Reaper, I'll have to, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not like calling to me. And there at the bottom, the ever elusive. So the standard Mego figures are 8 inches in height. They also have the 14-inch variations. So, so between you and I, I'm more Mego, you're less Mego, but now live in the wild, you have seen the 14-inch height figure creature, the Black Lagoon. This is truly a cryptozoological character for me. I've never seen him live in the wild. So you really found a great place. You really
It was a really, really spectacular store. I did buy, and hey, Mandarin, thanks for coming out, and did my homework, homies, and actually watched the first episode of She-Hulk.
Mandarin, drop. What do you got, Mandarin? Thumbs up, thumbs down. You like this part? You didn't like that part? What do you have to say on She-Hulk, Mandy? if I may call you Mandy, okay. I think we're good like that by now.
All right. Well, yes, we would love to hear from you, Mandarin. Yeah, with this store, I did buy a Super 7 Mothra action figure. I paid, I think, $20, which was probably on the higher end, but I didn't mind because it was a nice opportunity to support it was a nice opportunity to support a small business. So I did enjoy getting my Mothra action figure. I'm not big into the horror genre, you know that, but yeah. Okay, so it's like watching Shrek. Yeah, thumbs down. Yeah, I hear that. There are some genuine rough patches with the first two episodes. At least the second episode, for me in particular, I had some.
The name of the channel is Cantina, and in the Cantina, there's a variety of characters, a variety of opinions, a variety of flavors, a variety of experiences. And as you were describing the vastness of your trip, Frank and Son, it sounded like it had a bizarre element to it.
Yes, very much.
Or a bizarre or Cantina-like way about it, that there were a lot of different influences gelling together.
Yeah, no, definitely. On the Cantina, we don't actually drink on this show for some reason. I'm having a Coca-Cola Starlight thing.
I got a couple drops of water left.
Okay, yeah. This thing was cool. The Sourpuss creature shelf design. Feel like this is an exploration for some other time of learning more about this. About this collection.
I'm like, what is this thing you're showing me? So then I chased down the Sourpuss website, and they have when I thought that Retro Agogo had a vast website for a variety of pop culture things, somewhat reminiscent to the Cabaret Metro of Chicago and the store in Chicago, the Alley. So I thought Retro Agogo had some overlap with that, but now the Sourpuss, they got selection after selection. They got rows. They got columns. They had so much inventory covering clothes and T-shirts and different ways to express and pop art. And so you opened up a great gateway here, whether you meant to or not. The Rainbow Bridge, it's on the past the Bifrost, all of it.
Oh my
It's real good.
goodness. All right, a variety of no ideas. Okay, shot down by Fanboy G. Anyways, yeah, going to be watching the episode. Oh no, what? Oh no, I missed a comment here. It's a little glitchy on my end. Not even appropriate for kid. Yeah, that's also an issue for me. Thank you for bringing this up, actually, because there are the whole Captain America bit. There is a irreverence in the show. It's fine. I mean, for me, I think it's fine, but yeah, it's not something. If you have little kids, explaining certain elements of the story may make you uncomfortable. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then, oh yeah, okay, so much. You go to watch. You guys miss so much. And I wanted to drink after the first episode. Yeah, I understand. I understand. The second episode, even more so, for me. So one last thing about Frankenstein's, if I could here, because I know we're running substantially over.
Oh man!
So we will have another. I know it's a surprise. So this, I think this is General Ursus. No.
Yeah, I need Crafter in the comments to get a lock on that, but I'll yeah look over the top. Yep, right behind his in the shell.
Yeah.
It's faded and obscured, but it does say General Ursus.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Man, we pulled that off without Crafter. Look at us go.
There you go. It's $700.
Oh, I thought it was $7.
Yeah,
I thought it was like a super discount thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So with this place, so that's a different vendor. That was at Dark Helmet Collectibles. Again, we'll have a video. We'll do the virtual field trip of this place. You really need to have your wits about your knowledge, right? Because you want to support small business. There's something wonderful about the tactile nature of shopping for collectibles and having it in your hand. And so that was why I picked up Mothra. It's like, oh, this is cool. I could get it at home and get it ordered or whatever, but I like to support the guy and I want this thing. So I bought it. I also had limited luggage space in my carry-on. So I bought the the one thing that I could reasonably fit. But this thing, here was $700. I looked on eBay. It's, I guess, roughly in the ballpark. It looks to be in the ballpark. It looks to be a very high quality card, but yeah, that's not going to happen for me.
No, no.
Yeah.
Hey, good. More power to them that somebody's going to come around and open the wallet or the credit card and make that transaction. But I'm going to pull some Daryl Hall and John Oates at this point. No can do. I can't go for that.
Yeah. All right. Yes.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me the saxophone. No.
All right. Yeah. Sorry. So you would
Gucci
think.
apes.
You would think. All right, Mr. C. Can I turn over the keys to? So, are you able to get to the images, or do I?
I'd have to just go ahead now. You steer and I'll narrate.
All right. So we got Monsterologist. That was the banner that I typed in for space. But what do you got to share with us here?
Well, here let me do some bridge comments right here.
All right.
We're saying yes. A cool. You just saw a cool spot, a cool shop to be in. Recently, we've discovered locally here to Chicago the Horror House. We've spoken on Cabaret, Metro. We've spoken on the Alley. The Alley moved from its historic location. Many of the comic shops we grew up with from the 80s or in the resurgence from the 90s. These cool spots don't exist anymore. Windy City Comics was a big deal for us many years ago. Did Windy City Comics close up shop and Augie, the legend, headed the way of Florida. So that's what I want to have a cool spot to be. I want to see some neat stuff. I want to just hit, like Mander said, I want to see something that's, not wild, edgy, but just something fun. I want to see maybe some Artist Alley stuff and support a local business. So speaking of local business, now here comes Monsterologist, who we first learned of through the Horror House. And then since we last spoke on Monsterologist, I came to learn that he also, besides having monsterologist.com, That's got to be one of the best .coms of all .coms. But he's also got some Etsy listings. And so now let's break down. So then I'm ordering the patches. So
Okay.
Monsterologist has patches or enamel pins or prints or T-shirts. And right here, he's covering the cryptozoology side of things. So right there, the Yeti Squad and the Bigfoot Patrol. I think that's a real good combination of, I'm not actually putting them onto a shirt for myself, but like that could be a Halloween gig right there. That just looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming up in the go back, please, G.
Oh. What happened?
Oh, that's all right. So yeah, coming up in the top, the cryptid command. So that's that's the mashup. So in the upper corner there, the green and black. I'm talking at the speed of Koi Jandrew right now. That's like the combo platter. You got a Loch Ness monster, you got a Bigfoot, you got a spaceship, and you got an Illuminati all right there in one patch. Then we got a little Scooby reference right there. And go ahead and flip.
Oh, that I missed that. Meddling Kids
Mystery Club.
That's wonderful.
I won't run upstairs and get the coffee mug also, but so I ordered the patches and the coffee mug for the wife. She's all about it worked. It worked. Nice. Okay, so we'll say that. Okay, so then over here, Goon Squad. So look at the color varieties. Look at I'm telling you the texture of these things. Again, why do you have a patch? For the look of it, for the feel of it. So and the variety of teams. Goon Squad, just the choosing that shade of green and that shade of pink, it pops together. And then just under that Troll Army, and then the Ghost Guard one. So the Ghost Guard patch there with that classic haunted house image in the background, the ghost in the foreground. Like, how do you, in the same way that She-Hulk episode 1 fits so many things in, flipping from one story segment to the next, now how do you fit that much into one patch? Now come over the corner, here's Roswell, New Mexico, all the classic stuff, aliens, Bigfoots, Nessies, all that stuff. If we're ready to flip to the next one, again, just coming to the other side a little bit. So there's some Area 51, the Kraken, right? So the Kraken can be depicted in all kinds of ways, in a more Ray Harryhausen, more humanoid way, or as a squid, or as an octopus, or something like that. So Kraken Dive Team, to me, that was hilarious. A Kraken Dive Team, like that's really funny stuff.
That's pretty
good. Bottom right there, we got Krampus and my man Monsterologist. He has like 3 to 4 different Krampus things going. I was mentioning either through monsterologist.com or through Etsy, but let me say the way bigger channels than us. It was the carpet bagger who he just goes around to museums and events. And so he's had Monsterologist on his channel or shown the booth of Monsterologist a couple different times from the Curiosities and Oddities Expo, which I'm only just starting recently to learn about, but that's a really good place. And I should have put it in the pictures. I forgot the name of the other channel, but I'm just trying to say Monsterologist, if you're surfing around YouTube, has been on a few different channels, but only one YouTube channel has had Monsterologist, to my knowledge, come in the comment section, and that would be Fanboy Cantina. All right. Go ahead and flip over. Okay, so pretty much the same shot again, just a little bit closer up on the crimp. These are quality things. These are not flimsy, poor.
They're really nice
merchandise. They look good. They feel good. And he gives them in a variety of ways. Either he'll call it hook and loop because I guess Velcro, I came to learn from reading his stuff, is a specific. It's like a brand, Kleenex to tissues. So hook and loop to Velcro. So they can come in iron-on format or hook and loop format, or it can come in the enamel pin. And that's just, how smart is that to use your same image that you've created through a variety of media or through a variety of formats there. So Monsterologist is a top dog in this way. And is that all of them, or did I have any?
No.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Well, we got a series of comments.
All right, let's go comment.
A whole other thing happening here.
Oh my goodness!
Catching up on the convo. You boys doing a costume party? It's costume party. Okay. All right. I got. Let's go. Oh boy. And then what else? Yeah. No, I don't think it is for real cosplay. Yeah. All right.
Well, I tell you what, the other
I don't know what
time
to do about
on
this.
the other side of the month,
Yeah.
in recognition of your birthday, we crowded up the boxes. We went full Brady and had a whole bunch of little squares on the screen. So if the rest of the viewers, the rest of the commenters are willing to jump in and go, we'll see about that. I mean, Mandarin's pretty elusive with his contact information, and I still respect that. But Mandarin to be live in one of the little boxes on the screen, that would be pretty sweet as I see the world. So now moving on. So here is the other works of Monsterologist,
yes.
and I did this intentionally. So this one is less late. Don't switch yet. But then I went chronological order here. So Nosferatu came out first. The vampire based on Dracula. So just even look at the little subtleties there. We're still going to have a narrow chin, but one has a bit of a base of the chin versus a pure point. The fangs are different. The eyes are different. So Nosferatu to Dracula, Dracula 1931, then Frankenstein 1931. Karloff left out his dentures to have a sunken in cheeks experience. So that's captured there. Then Karloff jumps over to the Mummy after he did Frankenstein. And then the Invisible Man. So previously, I just had the Creature and the Invisible Man, and just I'm telling you, the texture, the colors, it's just this is real quality stuff. And there, so I wanted to show it with color.
That's really great.
I mean,
it's really great.
Go.
Well, just looking at the Mummy right there, there's ways to show. I always appreciate where you can see somebody has gone above and beyond, right? There's enough there, but it's even more rich and detailed, right? You can see the one side of the face has a lot of different stitch work, different design in it. With all of these, and with the Invisible Man, it's not just the bandages, but you can see the waves within the bandages. It's amazing that level of detail or design can show up in a patch.
It reminds me of, again, in a very different way, but the concepts, it reminds me of J-Spy, pulling together 3D printer stuff where it's a playable launching cannon. Right. So again, I'm not saying I'm not saying we've been with Mandarin longer than we've been with Monsterologist. I'll say it that way. But in the emails, Monsterologist is a very conscientious, cool person.
That's good.
Hey, so on the customer service side, it's for sure. Hey, it shows on the Monsterologist records that your shipment has gone through. But if it hasn't, please let me know, and we'll try to make good. So I wanted to say, with full respect to the depictions on either Etsy or monsterologist.com, the stuff, the shade of purple on the Wolfman, for example, looked a certain way, but just in person, it's even better than what you see on the website, specifically to Werewolf and Mummy. But it's all, so he's also got some other stuff out there, and I would. It's safe to say I'm not done ordering stuff from. I hope so. Man's been busy. He said he got a lot of stops on his tour, but if he just comes in the comments, that's great. That's cool. But I would really hope one day, and then again, you with your art background can do art man to art man talk with you. That would be good.
Yeah, no, so Monsterologist, if you are out there, let us know.
Well, I'm going to send in the link for the episode afterwards. No question about it.
All right. Yeah, he unfortunately has to suffer through us talking about She-Hulk for an hour or whatever, because as we get to the 75-minute mark, which I think makes this our longest live stream ever, maybe.
Oh no, Sven.
Oh, there's one longer than this.
We did an hour 40. We were 10 seconds short of an hour 40 for Sven, but we're
that's right. That is right.
But that was kind of our documentary, if you will.
That was so.
Yes. But we're definitely in the upper range of our game.
All right, so Mandarin's okay. Down.
Just not in a She-Hulk kind of way.
All right, okay. And we talked about Jim Campbell loves the Blue Creature. That one, which you had before on the live stream, it's just wonderful. Yeah, and the Invisible Man is just spectacular. All right, just okay. Yeah, the patches are amazing. And, yeah, Tri-Strategy is crazy. Yo, curious what you all go as. Yeah, I feel like mine would have to be the Doctor Strange,
That
uh,
yes, yes, and
or
yes.
oh, perhaps. Well, I would like to do Wong now that I've got the shields, and
That
I
would
got
be
the
cool
bars.
too.
Okay, you drinking vodka, Mister C? Pass some over. No, unfortunately, that would be uh, agua fria over there, and by okay, all right, and the last yes, okay, all right. I think we're caught up on all the comments, Mister C. This was fun.
I'm glad we're back in the groove. And again, just to follow. Sorry that my production assistant brought me my Mego guys, but I wasn't.
Ah,
Just again going back to when we were
oh, yeah.
showing the.
Ah,
So now that we got all the stuff in the
let's go
frame,
to the
there's your
one shot.
Dracula, there's your Wolfman, there's your Frankenstein and Mummy. Credit to the wife for the back matting on these. It was fun putting them together with her. So it doesn't have to be horror. It can be comics. It can be a hybrid of this, and it can be a hybrid of that. But I just want to see some cool stuff, speak on some cool stuff, and enjoy in a cantina setting. As I now have the laptop waving around. Maybe Mandarin's got a point. Maybe it wasn't really water in there, but no, it was really when the night just started. Yeah, I'm going to go Iron Man 2 on this and call for the after party after the real party. But
Right.
yeah, boy,
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your Saturday with us. And if you're watching later, thank you for watching, and post in the comments because we love to hear from you. What did you think of She-Hulk episode 1 and 2? What do you feel? What do you feel about the series? Have you been to Frankenstein? And any thoughts on that? And again, we will have that longer virtual field trip video, and also, yeah, Monsterologist, just some lovely patches by him. And if you are watching, we would love to have you here. Mr. C, thank you so much.
Thank you, pal.
All right.
G saying, when's the next live stream? We will follow up offline with him about that. Wouldn't be a stream without him asking that question.
That's right. That's right. Well, I would like, so now that we're drifting, I'm going to drift. So we have a discussion thread going on with Casual Crafter and J Spy on a challenge. I have been working on the challenge. I think I'm breaking the rules by taking so freaking long to try to do something.
I renegotiated the deadline on that with
right,
Crafter,
okay.
as I mentioned.
Well, it's taken me a bit of a time. It's been frustrating, but we've got a bit of a challenge. We got our individual projects going. Looking forward to talking about that at some point. But yeah, maybe next weekend. It is Labor Day weekend, so we'll have to talk about that. But hopefully very soon.
Did we have any other negotiations going separate of the Crafter challenge?
I don't know. Do we? No, we're not going to talk about the cosplay thing again.
No, not that. The other.
Oh, yes. Well, so we got so many things going. So I have yet to send the email to the channel that we have mentioned. So that's on me. That's my fault. And I will do that. And it would be great to do more guests onto the channel. Onto the channel. Can't do it with you. Yeah, Shrek and Fiona fight up there. Yeah.
We need
good callback.
Yeah, we need Mandarin.
Good callback right there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Do us a favor, hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with your friends. Appreciate you spending some time. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much. Thanks, Mr. C.
Thank you, Fanboy G.
All right. Oh, wait. Batgirl cancel. Closing thoughts. Oh, man.
Same bad time, same bad channel, or something like that. Mr. Campbell, we'll give that more full consideration next time.
All right, I guess we're gonna punt. All right, yeah, with Mr. C, it's like I it's like daytime out here actually still. So Oh,
Yeah.
actually, it's gotten so dark. It's gotten so late that it has gotten dark behind me. But anyways, all right. Thank you so much. Good night. This has been the Fanboy Cantina. Take care.